Here we go, another Friday. August 7th.
Isn't that crazy?
August.
July went by in a blur.
What happened to the rain? Weren't we supposed to get rain in July? What happened? We didn't get. Did we get any rain?
There's no monsoon.
I don't know anything
We got.
Might have to do a rain dance on the show or something.
We got plenty of COVID. We got plenty of everything else, but we got no rain. Anyway, today we've got two very special guests with us. Shelley Carr from One Guard Home Warranty, who is one of my partners, one of my very valued partners, who I love. I've never done that in my life, but who I love, and just recently took care of another one of my clients. Thank you very much.
You're
so
welcome.
Awesome.
Anytime.
And then everybody knows Mike, and then I don't know where we found this guy. He was sitting in some room that said owner, so we figured, okay, maybe we should let him on. So everybody knows Jereme. Social distance with you. So anyway, so here we are. It's August 7th. We're coming into that tail end of the year, that fourth quarter, and I don't know about you guys, but my fourth quarter consistently is my best quarter. I don't know why. A lot of people say the first quarter is the best industry wide, but the fourth quarter has traditionally been my best quarter. I can't explain why, but so I'm excited. I will tell you this though, not to be like Debbie Downer, but most of you know that I do a lot of relocation business, and now 2 times in a row I had a client in from Chicago. We ran around, looked at 30, 40 houses, and then this week I had a client in from Omaha, and the same thing happened. We were unable to find them a property because there's just no inventory. So inventory, that's the big, I mean, COVID's bad and everything else we got going on, which we're going to talk about, but inventory is a very serious issue. So maybe we could talk a little bit about that today. But we kind of wanted to talk a little bit about mindset today and the effects COVID restrictions are having on not only us as realtors or as an industry, but kids, because it's going back to school time. So did you have anything in particular you wanted to lead off?
You know, I love that you said fourth quarter. So, that'll play into the mindset that we're going to get into here. Because, I know. Seeing 24 take 500 right? Yeah. Anyway, and that's where we need to really start thinking about. Because if I were to bring it to a sports analogy, you remember in football, it was always when it was fourth quarter, everybody was, here we go. It's time to really give it everything you got. So I think if we'll talk a little bit about that, but leading into that mindset that the holidays are coming upon us, the COVID's still here. So how do we really get ourselves into that mind frame of balancing it all and still being successful at work? And really keep going forward. So we want to get into that. So mindset's. I love that you said that anyway, fourth quarter. So,
and don't forget, if you got any questions on the Facebook page, please shoot your questions over here. I can read them here. So
you can read.
Answer any questions. I can read, believe it or not.
Surprisingly.
And then before we go any further, let's give Shelley a chance to kind of tell us a little bit about you, where you're from originally, how you ended up in Arizona, how you ended up in home warranty, and
why I'm here.
Give us the whole shebang.
Sure. So I'm a native. I have.
Wow.
Yes. I know my.
You're the one.
I am the one.
It was you.
Yeah. My family actually grew up is from Winslow. I was
Were you ever standing on the corner in Winslow?
I'm not sure I actually have ever been to Winslow. But my family, that's where my family's from. And then I was born in Flagstaff. I grew up in Tucson. Do not hold it against me. And came up here to go to college. Went to ASU and U of A. Kind of went house divided, I always say. And then I've been here ever since. My background is in education, and I was an educator forever. And when I could no longer pay the bills as an educator, I became a home warranty rep. So my passion, why I love home warranties and the real estate industry, I love kids more, and I love the education world of things. And what people don't know about me, and most people, is that my background. So I started as a teacher, and then I evolved. I have this gift of working with we always joke, people would say at-risk kids, but I say at hope kids. So they're kids that have been dealt some crappy cards. And how do we change their trajectory in life? How do we make it so the cycle doesn't repeat? So I worked with adjudicated youth. I have done professional development for people everywhere from the foster families to I helped with the judicial system. I helped with principals, superintendents, counselors, social workers, and how do you educate children who've experienced trauma? And my passion is growth mindset, and how do you change your mindset?
So you have a real understanding of what kids are going through right now with this.
And parents.
And there's
and
lots
teachers.
of different aspects of that, I think, with the kids, right? I mean, there's all this, of course, we have the school issues and the COVID and all that, but obviously there's a lot of other things going on with the, kind of Save the Children movement, which is like a whole nother thing that I don't know that we really want to necessarily get into, but, I've always been the same way of like wanting to like pay it forward and take care of the next generation. And Johnny, I know you've been a baseball coach for 30 years and, like bringing a tremendous amount of like energy and passion to like trying to help and inspire like that next generation. And, I would love to put a plug out there for Make-A-Wish. And I've been on the board for Make-A-Wish for the last couple of years. And
Why not? It's a great organization.
yeah,
Great.
I'm so proud to say that I'm affiliated and honored to be on the board for Make-A-Wish Arizona. And it truly touches my heart to be able to, help out the kids of our community that need it the most, and provide some hope, for them to kind of, get well and get better. So I don't mean to steal your thunder on that.
No,
And
that's perfect.
I apologize, but I think it's just and I'll take another positive spin when we're talking about the kids and the youth. We're actually working with a group right now on a new one of the things they don't teach in school, I don't think enough, right, is this financial literacy piece. So I am going to kind of take a hard left turn here, but the financial. Again, financial literacy and talking about money and talking about finance and talking about these things, right? I think that we're as a society, it's like the powers that be want to keep us poor and broke, and they tied to our mortgage and house debt, and the car manufacturers want us to be in debt. Like they don't teach us these things in school on how to truly manage money and be have again that financial literacy. So we're working with I'll put another plug out there right now for a system. It's a new app called Busy Kid, where I don't know if you guys have heard of Busy Kid, but super cool platform. And I'm just going to scratch the surface with giving kids the opportunity to look at their finance, to actually create a portfolio. You can give them an allowance and they can go out and kind of start building their own portfolio, like penny stocks and dollar stocks and like low level things or not. Yeah. And you can kind of you can kind of give them, you can tie in the grandparents on like, they can manage a budget and kind of start, pushing, telling your money where to go, right? That's I think another thing we don't really do as a society is like we collect our money, or we get a paycheck and we don't exactly, we don't direct our money where to go. So that's just another thing. So sorry to kind of go off on that tangent. I apologize, but while you're, I appreciate like your service, right, as a teacher, and I just wish, it's very current right now with what's going on and that stuff.
I could take that a step further. So I deal a lot with veterans, and now my kids' friends are now getting out of the military. They've already been through the military and they're coming out. So I have a lot of communication or a lot of conversation with these kids they're 21, 22 now, getting out of the military. And 86% of the kids getting out of the military, their credit is completely shot because there was never any education prior to going into the military. So something that would sound so simple as, let's say you're in the Navy and you get deployed overseas for 6 months, and you buy a truck and you park your truck in the parking lot in San Diego where your ship is, and you come back in 6 months and your car's gone. You're like, what happened to it? Well, they weren't smart enough to say, oh, I better set up an auto payment on it. And they come back and now all of a sudden their credit is shot because going into the military, they didn't know what a mortgage was. They're 17, 18 years old. I didn't understand that stuff. Balancing a checkbook, all that stuff. So that's a big deal. I'm really happy to hear that they're addressing that. That's cool. What was the name of that app?
Busy Kid.
Busy Kid.
BUSY Kid. Yep.
Anybody knows anything about that,
Yeah.
throw something in the comments on that.
It's really, really cool. It's growing like crazy. They're bringing on, last I heard, like 40,000 new, customers a month, which is just crazy. And I think it's so.
And do the kids like it? Are your kids on it?
Well, I'm getting my kids on it. I can't even speak from experience. Like I just started learning about it. Actually, it was earlier this week, Monday this week, and from the owner, the developers, of the system or the platform, and like I just immediately fell in love with it. So yeah, no, I'm 100% getting my kids on.
I got $100 says that Liz is already completely researched it and knows the lowdown.
Kids are
on it.
What a great way to introduce kids to
Yeah.
the financial world,
Right.
I mean, and having the opportunity for growth in that area. So
Yeah, which brings us really full circle to what we want to talk about today, and that's mindset. So think of all the I mean, we could come up with any industry, any vertical, everybody. This trickle down of COVID affects everybody. So we can speak to the real estate world and say that, while there's a lot of realtors that are killing it right now, there's a lot that are struggling. And and then I mean, so I'll bring up a really sad example for those of you that knew her, but anybody that knew Kim Campbell, who was a realtor in our industry, beautiful girl, had the world by the you-know-whats, and unfortunately she killed herself. I mean, this is a girl that had, anybody looked at it, you'd think, man, she had everything going for her. So this lack of social interaction and the mindset towards not having a guaranteed paycheck, or am I going to lose my job? What's going to happen with the government giving us? There's a lot that goes into this. Maybe speak a little bit about that.
But I think it goes deeper than just a lack of socialization and a lack of where am I going to get my paycheck. And I mean, as individuals, as humans, we're not made to be alone. We are made to interact with each other. And so when we are in this isolation, and it could be, and I see it a lot, is when we're interacting with others, it could even just be a surface level, but it's not that very solid interaction that people need. And one of the things that I have felt, and people that know me know that I'm a really honest and transparent person, is that during this time I have felt very lonely. And it's hard for people to understand that, because I have 5 children, I have a husband, I have a very busy house. So when people are like, how are you lonely? You have this house and you have a new husband and you have all this stuff and everything's going on. But when your needs are not met in a very emotional way, I have a great friend group and we're doing our Zoom calls and I do meet people and I have all of this stuff going on. But when you're still missing that need, whatever need it is on that personal, emotional level, you still have that emptiness inside, that loneliness. And I distinctly remember at one point during this experience over the last few months, being on my floor in my bedroom in tears, like in the fetal position, thinking to myself, I can't do this. I can't. And I'm a very, very strong, emotionally healthy person. And for me to feel like I have a paycheck, I have a husband, I have kids, I'm not, I have a house, I'm not worried about all of this stuff. But I remember distinctly feeling like, I can't do it. I'm not going to make it. And it took me a lot of soul searching to figure out what was I missing. What was this emotional connection? What did I need? And when I finally figured it out and I could pinpoint it and really had that open communication about the loneliness that I was feeling, and then I had to make the steps of, okay, how do I change it? And that's when your growth mindset comes into play. So to really understand growth mindset, can I define it really quick? Are you guys okay with that?
I love that.
So growth mindset is not being positive. It's not, a lot of people are like, oh, you've got to have this growth mindset, you need to be positive. But it's different. You can have growth mindset and still kind of be negative. Growth mindset is being resilient and being able to hit the bottom, hit the floor, crying on that ground and being like, I can't make it, and building yourself up. That's growth mindset. Fixed mindset is, you know what, this is the best it's going to get. I am dealt with these cards. I have this fixed mentality. however things are right now, it's the inability to grow.
The things we tell ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I look at that too, and I love that you're talking about this, because this is something that I have in my life as well, and I talk about this in relationships, in business. Like, there's the people that have that fixed mindset of, I'm not a test taker, I'm not a morning person. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't function until the
Yeah.
things that we tell ourselves, right, that get in our heads since we're kids, or maybe the things that adults told us when we're kids, right, that you're a certain way, or
Yeah.
you can't do this,
Yes.
right, and it starts to become ingrained in us, unfortunately, and it becomes a fixed mindset
Yes.
for people,
Yes.
right, and you have to just cut that out. Like, I am going to do this, I can do this, I will
Yeah.
do this.
Maybe I'm
right?
not doing it right now,
No.
but I will.
Right.
I'm
Like,
not
stop
doing it
telling
yet,
yourself
but I'm
you're not a
going
morning
to.
person.
Yeah.
Yes, you
Right.
are. You can be if you
Yeah.
want to be, right? Just make the decision that
Yes.
you're going to be, right? And so for me, growth mindset too, and I think I like what you said, is also being, it's a choice, I think, to a degree, of saying, look, I can find my way through this, I can find my way around it, I'm solutions based, opportunity based, and again, just like it sounds, the growth mindset, making the choice, like I can grow, I can expand, I can work through this, I can find solutions, right, to get through it,
Right.
is a true growth mindset.
What are the tools? What tools do I need
Right.
Well,
to figure it out, to get out of wherever I am? Or, okay, my business right now is in a slump. Like right now, we are mandated to work from home until January. So as
Does
a,
everybody know that you're here? This is live.
I had to get permission, I know, and I had to get permission.
Yeah.
But, so I could easily
Just put
say,
this over there.
I know.
Yeah.
So I could have easily
Just take a
said,
test.
Yeah.
as a salesperson, I can't work until January. Like, I'm just going to hang out and, I don't know, binge watch Netflix all day. Or I can say, what are the tools that I need to get me in front of people, even though I can't leave my house?
How do I shift?
How do I shift?
What tools?
Yeah.
What technologies? What systems?
Yeah.
How can
What
we
do I
grow
need?
involved? How can we,
Let me ask you something, because you guys know more about this than I do. Is it recognizing that there's an issue first?
Yes.
I mean, you have to, I would imagine you have to recognize that I don't feel the same, or I don't feel right, before you can even address.
Well, I don't know if it's
what the
always an
problem is.
issue too, because sometimes it's just something you want to accomplish or something you want to do. So it's not just always something
Such as?
that
Give me
if
an
something's
example.
wrong. It could always be, or you're not doing enough of something. But it could be, this is where I want to go. I want to do this. So it's not, I don't think always wrong, which is why it leads back to what you said. It's a choice. I do think it's a choice, and it's a choice by circumstance or a choice by an idea. Like I'd like to build a business, and the only way to do that is to make decisions and move forward in that direction to grow in that business. Or you can hit the ground and realize, holy crap, I'm in this bad situation where I've lost everything, and what am I can either go negative or I can go positive, and that is I have to make the choice to get up off the floor and brush myself off and say, okay, what am I going to do now? What choice am I going to make to either make myself better or am I going to get worse?
Right.
So
It's
So
really-
it's
I think-
sorry, Jeremy, but it's resilience. So it's, what are you going to do with failure? What are you going to do when you hit adversity? And I guarantee if you talk to any of those big teams, those heavy hitters, successful people out there, the minute they hit adversity, it's not, oh, woe is me. Oh, this happened to me again. It's, okay, I'm going to learn from this.
Well, and
Like,
growth,
how are we going to evolve our business? What are we going to do now? This system
Growth-
sucked. I got to get a
right.
new one.
Growth mindset is choosing to look for opportunities,
Yes.
right? Because we can talk about that. There's a whole bunch of opportunities that this landscape is bringing us, right? From a business perspective, people are moving out of shared living environments, right? They're moving out of these big cities for whatever reasons. We're in a great marketplace, but again, that's having that choice of having that growth mindset. But to kind of piggyback on what you were saying, and obviously being very open and transparent, and I think we all appreciate you doing that, and hopefully people that are watching this, because you're not the only one.
Nope.
no.
There are
You're
so
not.
many people right now that, and I don't mean to be a downer either, but the facts are, it is what it is. I mean, people are probably depressed. People have high levels of anxiety, whether it be one thing or another. This is tough.
is.
for people, you know, what we're all going through, and I think that we're all being tested, you know.
Yeah.
I'm on the other side
This
of
is
it,
a
so
test
you have-
for everyone, you know.
You have a busy household, you have 5 kids, you have a husband. I'm on the other side, like, I have 1 kid that I
Half the
see
time.
every couple of weeks, and I'm pretty much by myself so we all go through those things, and I've had to make adjustments and stuff, because I remember when first started COVID, we were at home, and so if he wasn't there, it was just me trying to keep myself busy. Yeah, you definitely can feel that loneliness,
Yeah.
you know. But
And then throw politics on top of all
Right.
this.
Yeah.
The way
the world's on
is
fire,
now,
right?
I mean,
I mean, so throw
Literally.
that in there too.
Literally, yeah.
So literally, right?
No.
So
But I think Johnny answered, going back to your question, is you have to identify it. It is important to identify it, because I didn't realize that I had a fixed mindset until I was probably, honestly, 35. And
Don't
it,
date
like,
yourself.
and it hit me, I know, 29.
So last year.
Right, yeah, last year. And it hit me that I was constantly on a stage. I wanted everybody to think I was smart. I wanted everybody to, so when I walked in a room, it wasn't about me being authentic. I didn't know this until later, but it wasn't about me being authentic. It was about, okay, this is a stage. I'm not really going to learn anything from this because I've pretty much maxed out on what my abilities are, but I just want people to think whatever it is that they're going to think. And then I put myself in a position to, in the education world, where I was in front of these, superintendents. I remember my first meeting with the superintendent of Gilbert Schools, and I remember sitting there and being like, okay, there is not fake it till you make it. Like, I need to know this, and I need to be on top of my game, or, when I'm addressing these, 400 people in this room, like, they're going to see through my shit immediately if I am not on my game. And so then it was all, like, you immediately become this sponge, and I was like, whoa, I really can learn this. I really can do this. I really can do anything I want. I just need to make sure I have the tools. I need to make sure I ask for help. I can't do it alone. So when I came back to the home warranty industry, that's one of my passions, is helping people. So I came back, and one of my first thoughts was, I don't want to go back to just taking orders. I don't want to go back to just solving an air conditioning problem. So I had this gift, and my gift is being able to help people and being a resource, and how can I do it? And I think when people start to meet me and they see my energy, and they're like, whoa, she really has this resource, and I don't walk in, and I'm no longer on a stage anymore. Now I walk in with a growth mindset of
Confidence.
but it's more than confidence. Is I have this to give you. I know that you need help in your business in this area. I'm not here to sell you on my home warranty. I'm here to help your business. Let's talk about it. Let's figure it out. What do you need? Because I know as a realtor, you need my services, but let's figure it out. And it changed my business. So as people right now are in this slump, and they're like, I need to sell houses, I need to get more listings, I need to get more clients, I need to do all of this. You're stuck in the sales part of it. You're stuck in I need to be at the end. But how are you going to get through that process is the growth mindset. So how are you going to get to that sale? How are you going to get to closing?
That's the result. Right.
That's the growth mindset. And so if you're stuck in the fixed mindset of, you know what, I'm going to make this cold call and they're going to hang up on me. Or, you know what, I'm going to go knock on these doors, they're going to hang up on me. Or open houses are worthless. Nobody ever comes to them.
Right.
So if you're constantly set in failure, you're never going to get to the sale.
And my kind of takeaway from what you're saying right there is that, you had and you have clarity on what you want. And I think that that's what most people just don't have. And is like clarity on, like, this is what I want, whether it's business, personal, or anything in between.
Absolutely.
On, like, this is what I want. And not only do I want it, but I want it so bad that nothing is going to stop me, right? Like, nothing's going to get in my way. Like, this is exactly what I want, exactly what I'm going to do, and I'm going to make it happen, right? And I'm making the decision in my head, heart, and soul. You probably heard us say this before. Head, heart, and soul, like, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
And again, you talk about, like, fake it till you make it. Like, again, sometimes it can work for people. Sometimes people don't like that. saying, but it's like arriving. Like our minds have to arrive before maybe our bodies, or before our business, or before our lifestyle, or whatever, right? And like, I think that, for us, turning back the clock, we didn't know we were doing this at the time, but I can say this now, that that's what we did, is we did make that decision. We didn't have this great awakening or anything and saying, like, let's make a decision that this is what we're going to do. But we did, right? Like, we were crystal clear on what we were doing, where we were going.
Crystal clear.
Yeah.
Mental crystal vision, clear vision.
Yeah, and of course it never happens fast enough. It always takes longer than you think it's going to take. It always costs more than you think it's going to cost. Like, all those things, right? But we knew that again, we were crystal clear on what we were going to do, and some people were like, good luck, go get them, kid, right?
Sure.
And some people, sure, go get them.
Mm-hmm.
And then some people were like, all right, well, we believe, right? And we believe in what you guys are going to do, and so, but again, like, most people don't have, like, we're just, I always like to ask people, like, how long were you kind of like fumbling around in this industry or in your business, kind of trying to like figure it out? And you hear anything from months to years, right, of people that are just like, well, I was kind of just going through the motions. I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't really know what I wanted, or have that vision or that clarity on what we're trying to get. And it's hard, right?
Yeah.
I think it's hard. I think, we don't just like wake up one day and we're just like, this is exactly what I want to do, exactly where I want to go. But if you are lucky enough or fortunate enough maybe to have that clarity, and you truly commit to it, we're all human and we're going to kind of venture off that path, right? We're going to drift, but you can get back on if you truly know what you want.
Absolutely.
It's important to recognize that there's different levels of that too. So I can tell you that the most successful people in the world, they're an anomaly. They're different than the norm. They set their mind to something, knew where they were going, and not everybody has that inside. So I think it's important that you should set yourself up for a win every day, some way, somehow. Like
small wins.
Yeah, small wins. Like if you're trying to lose weight, drop a pound. So if you drop a pound, all right, that's a pound. I'm not going to drop 30 that I want to lose,
right,
but I dropped one, and that's a positive. You know what I mean? Or
and the other thing, well, mindset piece too. Sorry, Michael. The other thing I think is that the small wins, but also the small releases. Right now, I think it's more important than ever, and this is just my humble opinion, on trying to find releases, like mental releases. For me, it's like I love the beach, but we can't go to the beach all the time. I love nature, but you can't get out in nature all the time. But trying as much as we possibly can to get that release of, like, even if it's like a couple hours or half a day or a quick weekend, to get out in the, go
for a bike ride.
The mountains are, we're all in Phoenix Metro. Again, we have people all over the country, but we're a couple hours to the mountains. You could take a day and get up there and just breathe and just soak it in. And
well, it's a must in your life, because you have to have that work-life balance. Because if you don't have that release, a lot of people tend to burn out, and then they can slip back into the fixed mindset because it didn't work.
Yep.
Right. So, but I think I want to throw something in there that I think goes along with all this, because, and first back to what Johnny was saying, I think each of us can. We need to go internal to really figure out where it is that we want to go. So I think each of us can take some time to really try to figure out what we'd like to do, and then it's about getting crystal clear. But even more important to that is commitment. And like you said, even if it was just 1 pound, to lose 1 pound, if you committed to that and achieved it, you can say, hey, I did that.
You celebrate.
And now, can I take my commitment a further step and lose 5 more pounds, or whatever the goal is?
Hamburger,
and then put it right back on.
So then you can lose it
One
again.
on, one off.
But I think commitment really goes into it, because if you want it bad enough, like you said, you're going to do whatever it takes to get there.
That's so true. Think about the things in your life, even when you're a kid, think about the things in your life that you've like truly wanted bad enough. And I love asking that question, like, how bad do you want it?
Yeah. We used to scream for it when you were a kid, right? So
Yeah, right. You know what I mean? And then you find a way. If you want it bad enough, you'll find a way.
Yeah.
If you don't, you'll find an excuse, right? Is that Jim Rohn, I think, that said that? The great late Jim Rohn. But like, if you want it bad enough, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse.
Yeah.
And it's just so true. And again, it's hard, I think, to get the clarity. Not everybody has that. Again, we don't always know exactly what we want. But I do think that you can start to really find the things that you do want if you spend some time with it. And it's not just business, it's
No.
personal.
Personal.
It
What do
shouldn't
you want?
be just
What do you,
business.
yeah, what do you
Yeah.
want in your personal
'Cause we
life?
don't-
What do you want in your health and fitness?
we
What do you
don't
want in
live
your
to work.
relationships?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, the people, when I look around, the people that say, look, this is exactly what we want, this is exactly where we're going in our relationship, right? Like, those are the people that generally have more success with whatever that looks like to you, right? Or are generally happier.
So there are, if you look at research shows that the most successful people have 4 things in their life. There are 4 categories that you kind of have to have fulfillment in order to truly be successful. So you have to have a positive, whether it's education or it's your career. So having fulfillment in that in some capacity, having goals in that. Hobbies and recreation. You have to have hobbies and recreation if you want to have a successful, well-rounded life. You have to have community, a sense of community, whatever it is, whatever that looks like to you. And you have to have family, chosen family or actual family. So if you're looking at resilience research, so the ability to overcome obstacles, to when you fail, to be able to pick yourself up off the floor and say, I got this. When you look at research, those 4 things are key. So if you look at your life and you're doing your vision board, if you will, I remember we did a vision board earlier in the year here at my home group, and it's still on my wall. Looking at those 4 aspects of your world, if you're missing one, it's like a broken spoke on a wheel. Will it still go? Yes, but you're putting more strain and pressure on the rest. So when you, like earlier when I was saying I was missing something emotionally in my world, and what it was just a simple connection. Like I needed human interaction, adult connection. And when I got it, I was like, okay, I've got it now, looking at those 4 pieces of that resilience research. So it's really, you can't just focus on work. You can't just focus on your family. You can't just do everything in the community and try to give everything. You really have to embrace everything, but not be crazy about it. There has to be a balance.
It has to be a balance. And
Yeah.
I teach a business development class that covers all this stuff because we talk about commitment, mental mindset, all that stuff. But I even take it where I tell agents, plan it. Like even if it doesn't happen, you should put it on your calendar that you're going hiking this Saturday, or you're going to go be a part of a charitable event this weekend, and you got to put that in there because there has to be a
100%.
work-life balance, or you burn out with work.
Yep.
I mean, we've all been there. We've all done it. We've all 7 days a week working, so much that you I don't know if you forget, but you just don't take advantage of it, and then you burn out. And then you have to get yourself off the ground again and say, okay, I got to readjust now because I've got to do something for myself. And I think
I love
that's
that you
what
said
people
that.
forget,
I want to piggyback on that because I'm a calendar freak, and I catch some
Dude,
slack.
you're such a thing. You take stuff off your calendar that's already done.
If I'm, and that's just
And then
how
I get,
am.
and then like baseball practice, all of a sudden Jereme go, this baseball practice is off your calendar. I'm like, it was a week ago.
Yeah. Oh, I know. But we'll do
I know that.
I'll see the appointment on my calendar, and then he'll delete it because he's done. It's over.
I know.
If it's
You
done,
delete your past events?
I have to have my my calendar has to be clear. If it's done, it's off. So thank God.
I have a whole new level of respect for
Thank
this.
God I'm to the point in my life that I don't need alibis anymore. You know what I mean? I don't have to say I was a baseball player. Those days are over.
That's funny.
Yeah, not gonna let no. So I don't have to prove to anyone, where I'm at or what I've done but when it's done in my calendar, and that's just me. I think we all have to kind of find our operating system, right? But for me, like when it's over, when the appointment's over, the call's over, the reminder to the task, because I will put a lot of tasks on my calendar, like go do this, call this, And so when it's done, it's done. It's off my calendar. Like I like to look back on days previous. Boom, there's nothing on there. It's it's clear, it's crystal clear. If I didn't get to something, obviously, then I keep moving it. I keep moving it up in my calendar, you know.
I do that.
But, you know, I think that right now there's so much in the world that, like, we can't control. There's so much going on, and that's forever,
true.
right? Like,
Right.
there's so much that we can't control, and for me, and I don't know, maybe it is subconscious, it's like something that I can control, right? That I am kind of a freak with my calendar like that, and I love the idea of like blocking out the time for your well-being, for your mental wellness. That's the thing, is like, we're talking about mindset today, but part of mindset, I think, right now is mental wellness.
Protecting your
you know, like protecting our well-being right now, because we're all going through this and no one's enjoying themselves. You know, not to say that we can't, you know what I'm saying, like generally speaking, with everything that's going on, like, it's tough, right? And it's a struggle for people, but you know, how do we protect ourselves? How do we protect our mental wellness? And controlling the things that you can control, and blocking out those things on your calendar for yourself or for your personal time, or to get out in nature or whatever it may be. Like,
I was coloring the other day by myself.
yeah,
Full on, like.
yeah,
So that's one of the big arguments right now, not to turn this political, but it brings up a good point. I'm a spiritual guy. I like church on Sunday. That's my thing. I like to go. I get something out of it. And when that was taken away, that's hard. I mean, and it's not just the word you get at church, but it's like the people I saw at church every Sunday. You know, how's your kids? How's your kids? Yeah. And luckily our church is open. Like, everybody sits way far away from each other. But yeah, that was something that I missed in my life when they took that away. And that's a big argument right now about people not being able to worship in their place to worship, you know.
Absolutely.
And guidelines with gyms, and okay, you can open up, but you gotta have this. I mean, that's a mess.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
yeah. And again, it's frustrating for people.
And everybody's
because-
making adjustments. I mean,
No, that's the thing. We are making adjustments, right? We have to evolve and we have to change. It's not the strong that'll survive, or survive, but the ones that can adapt the best, right? And so, you know, it's like, it is frustrating for people, because the gym is a lot of people's sanctuary, and I'm one of them. You know, like, I had my routine. I got up, you know, in the morning and I go to the gym, and I've found myself a little underground spot that I go to now that I can't tell anyone about. But
I know what it's
you know what I mean?
I know what
No,
it's
but it's are you gonna put it on the screen for everyone? You write it in the chat feed. You know, but you know, again, it's like, it is frustrating for people, and I don't want to like take a stance on this necessarily, but you know, there's unhealthy things out there that are open, but the things that are healthy aren't. It just doesn't make a lot of sense, and I know that just leads to frustration amongst everything else for people too. But again, focusing on the things that we can control, and the productive outlets that I think that we can control, you know, and the releases.
let's talk about healthy habits.
Well,
Before
that's
we
what
do
I was
that,
gonna say.
I want to just say, if there's any questions, please, struggles, maybe what you're struggling with right now, maybe we can collaborate on that. So if you have anything, please let
We
us
got
know.
a question on what the best calendar is. That's really up to you. Right? That's
The best what?
what the best calendar.
I'm a Google or a Gmail.
I use Google too.
Yeah, just a
I use the
Gmail
old school
calendar.
desk calendar. Write it down.
Yeah, write it down. But then you got to be at your desk all the time, and right now, like, you're
Till
not exactly
January.
out. Yeah.
Except right now.
So, but I mean, yeah, whatever works for you. It's just like a CRM too.
Yeah.
It's like whatever works for you, whatever you're going to
Whatever
use.
you're
and
gonna
stick
use.
to. Yeah.
That's the best
Yeah. For
thing.
me, like, you know, I'm, like I said, a Gmail or Gmail fan. I love GChat. I love, you know, Google Drive, and then the calendar's great. It syncs with everything.
I have an
You know.
iPhone, so what I do is I just sync my Apple calendar with my Google calendar, but I use my Google calendar, so whenever I put one place or the other, they'll sync. So, but I primarily use my Google calendar. So.
But I think it's important to talk. So we talked about what, you know, growth mindset and fixed mindset, and that everybody knows we need it, but how do you get it? So celebrating the small wins, but it's making those goals. And I know that a lot of people will say, okay, I'm not going to do this today. If we're talking about losing weight. Okay,
I'm not going to have 20 donuts today.
I'm not going to eat a donut today, right? Or
19.
whatever, you know, I'm not going to binge watch 3 hours of Netflix Outlander tonight. I'm not going to do it. Instead, you need to switch it to, I am going to eat a vegetable today. I am going to drink 3 glasses of water. I am going to do this. So it's not the negative, it's the positive. I am going to exercise
That's a mindset.
for 15 minutes. but it's something you know you can do. Like if I said today, I am going to work out for an hour. I'm going to go running for an hour outside. Nobody's going to believe that. My kids would laugh at me. I'm laughing at myself internally. I am setting myself up for failure. But maybe it's, you know what? I am going to do 15 jumping jacks today.
Yep,
To you, that's ridiculous. That's stupid.
Okay, let's go.
But for me, I'm like, I can do 15 jumping jacks. And if I do 15 jumping jacks and that's all I did, that right there is growth mindset. Like that is moving myself forward.
Yep.
So it's the small goals and it's positive, thinking about positive, and then being grateful, having that gratitude.
That's a huge one, Shelley, because sorry to cut in, Johnny, but that is another mindset piece that I try to work on. And again, it's like right now, again with everything going on in the world, it's like if you try to just take a step back and think about the things that we are grateful for, because again, there's a lot of people around the world that the people that are the least well off in this country still have it pretty dang good when you look at the rest of the world,
Yeah.
right? And we do have a lot to be thankful
We
for,
do.
you know what I mean? And there's still, again, we're still living in a great place to be. I mean, market is still good, business is still good. Again, I know a lot of people are out there struggling. It's not the case across the board, of course, but we still have a lot of opportunities.
Absolutely.
And we can still be who we want to be and do what we want to do, you know what I mean? And make it happen if we make that decision that we're going to make it happen, right?
I
But
truly
there's so
believe-
much to be thankful for.
Yeah, I truly
Right?
believe gratitude fuels growth mindset,
It
right?
does.
So I think that's the fuel of that. So you've got to, I think everyone should be
I
doing that
agree.
every day. Is it 3 things you're grateful for, 5 things you're grateful for, but it really keeps you in that positive mindset when you really think about those things. And
Yeah.
I'm grateful that I have a home, grateful I have a job that we're
we
still thriving in.
We just mentioned the other day too, we talk about like how do I get there, like how do I, a practice that I want to start. Don't hold me to this, guys, if I don't send you guys all texts. But I want to start, putting out gratitude to other people. And I'll do it right now, Shelley. You've been, and OneGuard has been a tremendous partner, to my home group, right? And so, we're thankful for you. We're thankful for the value that you bring to our agents. You're present. You're professional. You're responsible. Like, you guys have been a great partner. So there's my gratitude for this show, and I am grateful for the two of you guys too, and everything that you guys do for all of my home group and doing this show here and you guys are open books and paying it forward and wealth and knowledge, and you guys lead with abundance, and all of you guys lead with abundance, right? But I think if that's a practice, what if the whole world sent out 3 texts of gratitude every single day?
Change the
Right,
world there.
right.
Yeah.
If there was every single person sent out 3 gratitude texts, just hey, thanks for that time in high school where you saved me from getting my butt kicked. That'd probably be one of you guys that would say that, but I'm just kidding.
But it's not easy to do. Like this is me being transparent.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I actually teach this in the business development class and so agents that are listening right now, this little snippet of the class that I teach, and that is when you're making your database calls, I have 2 types of calls that every agent should make, and one of it is called the gratitude call. So literally, if it's someone just reached out to you yesterday just to see how you were doing, you could call them back. I really appreciate you just calling me, just checking in on me, see how I was doing. I want to thank you for that. So I always say make 3 to 5 gratitude calls a day, and then you have your give back calls. And this is specifically designed for not only to help the power partners of the company, but it is truly just saying, how are you today? Haven't talked to you in a while, just want to see how you're doing. Is there anything I can do for you today? Anything I can help you with? And that's the give back. And what ends up happening with those give back calls, I learned that when I went to my first BNI meeting, and I realized I didn't have, for those who don't know, BNI is Business Networking International. It's a networking group where you share and give referrals. And I was going to my first meeting with no referrals. And I thought, man, I can't go with no referrals. So I started calling some recent clients and saying, hey, is there anything I can help you with? And that's when the light bulb went off. Why am I not doing that all the time? I should be every day asking people, is there anything I can help you with? And it turned out that I was giving, somewhere between 8 and 10 referrals a week when I was going to my meetings. And it was because I did that. So gratitude calls, I think, can be an amazing. You really want to see your business change, do the gratitude calls, do the give back calls, and watch your whole business change.
Let me piggyback on that. If you really want to get some self-satisfaction and a win, make some gratitude calls that you get nothing out of.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Get nothing.
And
Just
no,
a
you never
simple
should.
thank you.
Yes, and let me take that even further. So since COVID started, I have a private office here, so I never stopped coming to work. I kept coming into the office. I closed my door, and boss was okay with it as long as I was, So and every once in a while, somebody would come in the office, and I would just take the time to say, "How you doing? I don't even know you. How's it going? Anything I can help you with, let me know." Not to get anything back. So the military has what they call a buddy system. So when you're going through boot camp and training, you were responsible for yourself and your buddies. So I would challenge everybody, and maybe we can make this a my home group thing.
That's cool, I like
Pick out an agent you don't even know. Go on the website or go on the my home group page and just whiz and stop somewhere and just call an agent and say, "Hey, just wanted to call and say hi."
I love that idea.
Or call one of our partners, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are like,
Shelley doesn't want me calling her.
Yeah.
That's why I gotta call you.
No, I love you, Johnny. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
That's a great idea,
Yeah.
and I think my home group already shares that culture a lot because you see that, and if you're ever here at the office, you see it all the time, and
Great.
people always say, "Hey, how are you? How's it going?"
Yeah.
So, but I love that idea. That's a great way just to reach out. The more genuine you are, I think the more you receive, or the more you get, kind of thing. The more you give, the more you get. But it's giving with a grateful heart, giving with a true heart. So it's not just trying to get something. It's being genuine about genuinely helping someone.
So I'll tell you
Those
that
are the same, right? I mean, we have to lead with abundance. We talked about, this is a human connection business, and leading with value and leading as a source of knowledge and being a resource for people. And again, it's not all business, it's not all of a referral, it's personal as well, right? And like, again, what do you need? How can I help? How can I be a resource? Who can I connect you with? All those types of things. And yeah, if we are leading with an open heart and leading with abundance and leading to give first and expect nothing in return, that's the same thing too. What if we as a society just all gave more and expected less?
You'd get
what would
more.
happen?
Oh, yeah,
we would
yeah,
get
you
more,
would get
right?
twice as much.
It's a karma thing,
So at home, it's a running joke. My husband will go do something, and he'll be like, I just did the laundry. I'm like, doing a trophy?
What do you want?
How many times do I do that? I don't get so down. It's like, I'm going to give you your trophy.
Yeah.
But it's true. It's like doing something because it's out of the goodness of your heart. In general it's going to support our community, or because you never know what somebody else is experiencing on the other side. And one of my biggest flaws, and I only have a few, but my biggest one, especially as the one guard business development person, is gratitude.
Yeah.
And it's something that I desperately need to improve on. I am so busy every day, all day, my phone rings constantly, that I don't take the time to stop and say thank you. And it's awful. Like I pride myself on taking care of customers.
Well, it
and
starts today. You just
Yes,
made the decision.
I
Are we
know.
hearing you make
Well,
the decision?
I try it. I've been trying for a while.
Well, don't just try.
Yeah.
Just trying is the
Commit to
lowest
it.
form
No,
of
no.
commitment.
Commit to it.
That's what
Commit to it.
I have to
Commit to it.
But Johnny is.
Trying is the lowest form of commitment.
But one of the
Just
people
do
that
it.
pointed it out was Tori.
Yeah.
Tori was like, you know what? I used to use another home warranty company, and I never ever talked to the rep. And I was like, okay. And I'm always there when somebody calls, or I will spend 45 minutes on the phone with your client. But if you don't feel appreciated, that doesn't mean anything.
Right.
So I have actively been better about it, but it's true.
I want to
It's
piggyback
good.
real quick on like the personal aspect of this, because again, we're not just all about business here. And understanding that we obviously all have to make a living. We have, families to feed, and we have to obviously survive and thrive and all those types of things. But again, that personal side and for me, it's again, this is another mindset piece, kind of trying to stay on track here of relationships. And this is again the way that I choose. Maybe it doesn't work out for everybody, but a lot of people say, oh, relationships are 50-50. Well, what if we took a step back and said that relationships are 100-0? And so to your analogy of like, hey, I just did the laundry, like what do I get in, can I get what do I get in return, right? Like what if we just looked at it as like 100-0? What if I just gave my partner 100 and expected 0 in return? What if my partner gave 100 and expected 0 in return? It's the same thing. I mean, how much better off would most relationships be if it wasn't like that, and he's probably not doing it with like some level of like, animosity or anything. Maybe it is, I don't know, but.
I was joking, I'm like, I'm not an Italian wife, come on, like, I work.
I mean, generally speaking.
I know.
Generally speaking, like, if we, in business and in personal, if we just gave 100 and expected 0, right? Like, as a society, our businesses would thrive if we just focused on giving more. Our relationships would thrive if we just focused on giving more. Give more, do more, appreciate more, be grateful for more, and then expect 0 in return. And then, of course, it's going to come back. We can't.
And there's so many different, as simple as saying hi to someone, or as simple as saying,
holding a door.
"Oh, you look really nice today."
Holding the door.
Love that.
Or
that's my big struggle with the masks, because I mean, you guys know me. I'm always smiling, even in the, and I think it comes from working with the youth I used to work with. Your mannerisms and being genuine, and you never know the kind of day that somebody else is going to have. So even walking through Target, I'm always hi and smiling, and it's just, if I can brighten somebody's day by a simple smile or gesture, it's who I am. So now wearing masks, I'm always like, can they tell I'm smiling? I'm like,
some of those masks with the smile.
But it's so hard in this society now that we're all hiding behind, and it's that, again, it goes into that loneliness. It's that missing that connection. So I do think it's important more than ever right now to reach out and check in and say hi and be grateful, and it's so important. So I think it's a great point when you're looking at your business and how are you going to get to that sale at the end. It's just checking in on people. It's not, hey, are you looking to buy or sell your house? Do you know anybody who's looking to buy or sell your house?
Right.
Because they don't want to talk to you about
So
that.
And these are the things you can control, right? Like you can control how many gratitude texts, how many calls, how many gratitude calls, how many support calls, or what did you call those? Like,
give
back calls, right? Like you
I
can
like that.
control those things, and this is like a concept of like the lead versus lag, like you talked about, the deals, like, the closings, like you can't control, like right now today, you can't control if we close a deal today, right? Because it doesn't just pick up and end in one day, right? But we can back it up 30 days, and again, how many activities can we do? And again, personal and professional, the things that you can control that lead to those results, right? And focus on the things that we can control. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong too. Is like we have to detach from that outcome sometimes and attach to the process, right? Attach to the process and the activities and the things that we can do, and let those be the wins, right? Let that be the scoreboard, and let that be the win. How many gratitude texts, how many calls, how many reach outs, how many handwritten letters, how many messages on Facebook message, like whatever, right? Like attach to the process,
Focus on the process.
Attach to those things, and let those be the wins. Let that be the scoreboard, and the results will come, right?
So one of my running jokes in my office is, how many times is it going to take me to reach out to Ben before he responds? And so, it's a joke. And so the other day, I said something about, Ben, you have to appreciate my persistence, haha. And like your number 2 warranty rep, because he uses Old Republic and it's fine. And
it's fine.
And then he goes, I do appreciate your persistence. And I was like, he responded, yes! It's true, because I don't attribute myself as being a failure because he wants to use Old Republic.
Of course.
But to me, it's, if I'm like, well, Ben's choosing Old Republic, I saw because a home emoji person, then that's that fixed mindset. But the growth is, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep making these calls. I'm going to keep doing this because I have something to give. And there are teams out there that will value what I have. Old Republic is great. Super is great. Fidelity is great. But I am amazing. And I have value to give. And people will want it.
And you have to be that destination when people are looking to make a move, right? Like just like for us on the My Home Group front, like we're not heavy-handed, like down people's backs, recruiting, like saying you got to come here. You're like, we just want to lead with value and abundance and good energy and culture and all the things that we want to do, right?
Look what happened.
And and like just put it out there, and again, lead first with giving first, and sometimes people aren't ready to make a change right now, or they're not ready to change their home warranty company right now.
Or they're
But
skeptical.
when they want to, or when they're ready, or something happens, or their rep pisses them off, right? Then it's like, okay, well, where am I going to go now? Or,
Right.
hey, look, my broker pissed me off, or my, like, where am I going to go now?
Right.
And so we want to be that destination and keep leading, like I said, with value and abundance, and you keep leading with value and abundance, and education and giving. And then when it's time to make a move, then hey, look, we're here. Hey, we're here.
Look how this thing all went full circle. We started out with you talking about being lonely and being on the floor and being upset, and now the whole thing came full circle. So that should tell you, right now with everything going on in the world, whether you're political or not, what's going on in our world right now is affecting everybody.
It is.
Not just I vote this way, you vote that way.
Right.
I'm for this, I'm for that. That's just
That's
the
a
pieces
fixed
of it. That's
a
the
fixed
pieces.
mindset too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's the pieces.
Yeah.
The whole puzzle is much, much bigger than
How
that.
are we gonna
We're
work
in
together?
COVID. We can't go socialize with people. The country's in this state of there's so much to it. And I think the daily I'm going to challenge everybody. Just reach out to somebody today and just call and say hi.
Yeah.
And I'm not patting myself on the back, but I married my best buddy, Jan, and everybody that knows me knows how happily married I am. I still thank Jan for doing my laundry. I still thank her for dinner. It's like, what's a big deal? Thank somebody that
Absolutely.
you don't take shit stuff for granted.
That's right.
when you get home today, thank your kids for not burning the house down today because they didn't, because they did once. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
I think
thank the new girl that just started downstairs and
Yeah, there you go.
I have a
Yeah.
bigger thank right now that I think is super important. And I think it's thanking yourself. Like, I think it's acknowledging that you are getting through this and you're surviving and you're making strides, and we're all dealing with whatever it is. And one of the things that I'm constantly reminding myself of is that the way I present myself is the way that my environment is going to, it's going to change my environment. And one of my favorite quotes is, if you're going to associate with clowns, then don't be surprised if your life ends up as a circus. And so as we're going into the school year, I am the most optimistic cheerleader there is about online school right now. I'm like, it's going to be awesome. This is going to be so much fun. We're going to eat lunch together as a family. And in my head, I'm like, oh dear God, this is going to suck.
Yeah.
But outside, I am rocking it. I'm like, it is going to be amazing. We did meet the teacher, and I'm like, thank you, teachers. This is going to be. We did the drive up, and I mean, I am giving so much gratitude and thanks, and I am telling my kids how amazing it's going to be. My mom called and she was like, oh, well, this is going to be a mess. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's going to be great. Because at the end of the day, we are all doing our best. The teachers are doing their best. The principal is doing their best. I'm doing my best. My husband's doing the best. Kids, I love them so much. They are doing their best. And as little beings, I have never seen kids right now with so much anxiety. Like, our kids should not be these anxious little beings. They should be out playing.
Everybody.
So,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So just
Kids and
appreciate
adults
yourself, and I agree. Reach out to somebody and just say thank you and appreciate them, and give everybody a little bit of slack. And if in my household we can be two completely separate political viewpoints, if we can do it, I feel like the world can do it.
Yeah.
So,
my last point is going to be this, and I mentioned earlier about Kim Campbell.
Yeah.
So you just don't know who can handle this stuff and who can't. The people you least expect that are really struggling, and I can name two people that I know that I talk to on occasion that are struggling, and I check on them every other day, even if it's just a text. How you doing? Reach out to people. Just open up. That'd be my comment.
And I love that too. I'll piggyback on insert yourself into the community. Get a network. You talked about getting a accountability buddy or whatever or partners. Like, tap in. And just continue to give more. Offer yourself up. Continue to be a resource. Give first, lead with abundance, and then it will come back around.
Absolutely.
Final thought, Mike?
Such a great topic. I mean, mindset is a big thing. So out there, if you guys, anybody struggling with anything, we're here for you.
Yeah.
I mean, just let us know. Happy to talk with you. And anything you want to close with?
So I'm efforting having the director of psychology from Banner Health maybe joining us next week or the week after, and you don't want to miss that. She's amazing, and Banner Health is pretty big, so we're talking about a big hitter. I mean, even a bigger guest than our owner. I mean,
I think we're talking about my aunt coming in too, who's an author and a psychologist and amazing. She's written books on Rising to the Summit. So
we're looking to give.
Tag team together.
Yeah, we're looking to give anything we can. Like I always tell people, my door's always open if you want to chat or anything. I think that's about it. So we're out of time.
We're out of time. Shelley, thank
Thanks.
you.
Thanks
Shelley,
for having
thank you so
me.
much for
Love having
coming.
you here.
What was your name again? Thanks, Mike, for joining us, and Jimmy.
Yeah.
Okay, Maddie, you can go ahead and cut us.
Have a great
See
weekend.
ya. See ya.
Bye.
Awesome.
Good, we got a little welcome to Maddie in there.